Hi! New Year's was 4 days ago. I wanted to talk to you guys about Vlogmas and my experiences, and I wanted to put it up like right after Christmas, but as you might have noticed during Vlogmas, about day 15 or 16, I started getting into a downswing of depression, which is normal for me. I usually go through cycles all throughout the year of depression. I have CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and I've had depression my whole life, just from events and things, and I think we might be genetically predispositioned in my family to it. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, I am also pretty cheery and upbeat most of the time anyways, and I enjoy life anyways, so it's not that big a deal. It is a big deal, but it's not a big deal. It is something I manage and have always managed pretty well. So, but I'm in a downswing, and so I am giving myself grace to put things off that I might need to put off, such as a reflection about Vlogmas. So, sorry it's getting back to you late, but here it is. So, my first topic that I want to talk about is what impact did Vlogmas have on my holidays, my enjoyment of the holidays. I actually noticed that it had the unintended side effect that I was able to enjoy the season by myself. So I'm a holiday person. I love to celebrate. I love traditions. When I was younger, before my parents divorced, Christmas was a big deal. We went and saw family members around the time, my dad's mom, my grandma, and his brothers and their families, and it was always exciting. And we did things with Christmas. We did things with the church for Christmas, and it was just eventful in school and everything. And so when I got married and I moved in with my husband, I thought that it would extend to our family and we would be able to start our own traditions. Unfortunately, my husband is not a holiday person. He does not care about tradition. He does not value decorations or doing things. And that's okay. But it took me a long time in our marriage to be okay with that, to accept him for who he is and be like, I'm not going to get him to change. And I used to get mad because I used to think, why can't you know it's important to me? Why can't you like do it? But it's just not in it for him to care. We will see a counselor this year for him, so we'll see if that changes. But for the most part, I've come to grips with the fact that if I want to do something, I got to do it alone. And this year doing Vlogmas kind of helped because I had the camera to go with me, and I had the camera to encourage me to do things even when I wanted to not do them because I was going alone. I felt obligated to record the things, and that compelled me to do it, and I had a great time because of it. And what actually ended up happening was that I would make plans and inevitably somebody would want to come with me. So, you know, I was going to go to Christmas in the village alone, and my sister-in-law and my husband decided to come with me, and I was going to, what else did I do? I went to Easton with my sister, but that was planned because she goes to Easton all the time. And Nutcracker with my mom, that was just something that she's always wanted to do, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put it in this year. What would I do differently if I did it again next year? I think the biggest obstacle this year for me was money. By the end of the season, I just didn't have any money to do anything. I'm not working, my husband is not working, and we are living pretty much by the grace of others right now, which is hard. It's really been hard, but I'm in school to get an education to hopefully find a job where my PTSD isn't triggered. That has been a really big struggle for me because of the nature of what happened and everything. I physically couldn't do it because I was 380 pounds. I couldn't go back to work. I kept trying and injuring myself from the most mundane things. And then I couldn't do call centers because of PTSD and breaking down and crying in the bathroom for an hour or two at work, and it was a hot mess. So we don't have any income right now. The only money that I get is I get over scholarship money or grant money from going to school. I'm able to pay off my classes, and then whatever's left I have for like things that help with going to school. And I try to limit it to that. Sometimes it means toothpaste and toothbrushes, but so yeah, I guess the point is we're broke. And so sometime, like, my mom paid for us to go see the Nutcracker, and those tickets were pretty cheap, thankfully. And my sister and I went to Easton, and we didn't really spend very much. I think the carriage ride was $10, and so I paid for that, and she paid for her ride, which I wanted to pay for her ride too, but she paid, and she gave me $10. So yeah, that was the biggest obstacle, money. And so next year, I'm hoping, well, this year, 2023, I'm hoping to find a part-time job. I can't work and go to class full-time. I tried to do that when I was 19, and I crashed and burned so hard. I mean, a lot of other things were happening too, but I just know that it is too stressful for me to run a household, go to work, take care of my mental health, take care of my husband's mental health. It's too much. So I'm looking for part-time work, but we'll see what happens. I will structure, I think I'm going to structure next year a little differently too. I think I'm going to do one big event per week. So like first week, maybe I'll do a gingerbread house and really go all out with it. Next year I have plans to do it with my husband, and he's a genius. Like, the boy is that's one of the attractive things about him. And so I'm going to enlist his help, and we're going to draw up our own blueprints and actually make a house out of gingerbread that's interesting. So maybe like a house out of a fantasy world that we like, or a movie that we like, or Nakatomi Tower, or maybe just a replica of our house. That'd be pretty cool. So like once a week I will do, leading up to Christmas, I will do one big thing. Going ice skating or something, you know. And then for the rest of the week, I think I'll do the at-home things like baking cookies, watching movies, decorating. That's another thing I want to do more of. I would like to do more of the decorating, which I need money for. So I didn't record any decorations because I always do that the day after Thanksgiving. And Vlogmas started December 1st, so you didn't get to see me decorate anything. But next year, I think I will start recording that day that I put the tree up and the decorations out, and show you a little bit of what I'm doing. And hopefully I'll have money, because I will have worked a little bit at least, and I'll be able to decorate how I want, because right now all of my decorations are kind of hand-me-downs, or things that I got at the very beginning of my relationship with my husband, where I was working, and we were able to purchase a few things here and there. So I've always wanted to do different decorations, but I've never really been able to. So, and the outside decorations are going to be more expensive because my mom went to a clearance sale and got me some outside lights, because I think she was just as excited about me putting outdoor lights up as I was, because I think that's something she's always wanted to do as well. So, and I would like to do more crafts. So I learned to knit, and I finally finished that hat you saw me knitting all month. I had to start the thing over like a dozen times, but I finally finished it. And so I want to do more knitting projects next year, and I want to do more sewing projects. I never finished that apron I started. I got frustrated with it and I quit. The wind came out of my sails, basically. I just could not force myself to do much more than cook meals and try. And I would also like to actually be able to buy gifts next year. This year I didn't have any money to buy gifts for anybody, and I explained basically that I was probably just going to be giving out food items because I have a little bit of food income money that I get, and I was able to get my sister-in-law, will try to make my sister-in-law's favorite Indian dish, and my roommate, I gave him a free curry card. Basically, whenever he wants curry, he can ask for me to make it, and I'll make it for him. Next year, I definitely want to give gifts and show wrapping, because wrapping is one of my favorite things to do. It's organizing shapes. I don't know, it's me. What did I learn about video making and editing? I learned that making videos is not as hard as I always feel like it's going to be. It's especially not hard when I don't have to talk. When I can just whip the camera out and record what I'm doing and then edit it together with subtitles, it allows me the freedom to record while something that would get in the way is happening. So like if my roommate or my husband suddenly want in the kitchen, it's not a big deal if they're in the background talking because I can edit that out.
Yeah, but it wasn't ninjas.
No, it wasn't ninja. Or I don't feel embarrassed talking to a camera with like my husband walking in the room and seeing me talking to no one. It's really uncomfortable for me to do that. So I learned that that form of videoing might be more useful to me to do when I don't think I can talk to the camera. And then not having my head up in the shots helped a lot too, because I didn't have to worry about making sure that my face doesn't look like I just slept for 5 days straight and didn't brush my hair and grew a full beard. Like, I don't have to worry about that. Another thing I learned is that people really like the relaxing atmosphere of ambient noise mixed with light and soothing music. And I learned not to be afraid of moments of no music, where the only thing is the ambient sound. Pausing the music to emphasize the sound of like a kettle boiling or the sound of chopping is viable and enjoyable. And people gave me such good feedback saying that they really enjoyed the relaxing atmosphere of these videos. So I definitely think that it's something I want to incorporate going forward. I learned the importance of fading in and out. You can tell on the videos where I missed it. The video just doesn't feel as polished, in my opinion. Fading in and out, that last and first shot, basically, it makes a huge difference. I know I need to work on my thumbnails. Remembering to take a picture of something while it's happening for the thumbnail, it's just not natural to me yet. I know I'll eventually get into the swing of things and remember to do it, but I often found myself scrambling to take a screenshot of video for the thumbnail because I was just like, hi, I forgot to take a picture. But the ones where I did take an actual picture, I mean, you can really tell which ones those are. If you go back and you like look, you can tell. Another thing that I realized as I was editing and going through is that I would start a project and I would not give resolution. I would not show the end of the project because I would forget to pick up the camera, or usually it would be because by the end of the day I was so burnt out from all of the stuff that I had been doing, which is normal, that I would forget to pick the camera up and show the conclusion. So I'd like start cooking something and I wouldn't show the completed dish, or I would start I don't know, start going somewhere and never show me leaving that place. And I feel like that was glaringly obvious to me. Maybe it wasn't as obvious to other people, but for me it was like, oh, why didn't I show a resolution? There's no satisfaction, there's no payoff. So I definitely did remember to do that, and maybe write scripts so I don't forget. With the Vlogmas, it was spontaneous. It was like recording every day what I was doing, so you can't really write scripts for that, but in the future maybe just a list of like the footage I want to get might help. I don't know. We'll think about it. What are my plans for the channel in the upcoming year? Well, in this year now, 2023. I think I want to make silent videos pretty regularly, maybe weekly or bi-weekly, because people seem to enjoy them and I enjoy making them, and they're not too hard or intrusive to make. So I think going forth I will make more of those, and that will probably be a majority of what I make, at least starting out. And then I think maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks or maybe even once every 3 or 4 weeks, I will do a tutorial, sort of like my sister recipes where I showed you guys how I made fish stew. I'll do something like that where I will show you how to do something, canning chicken stock or starting seeds or treating something in the garden, handling a pest. I'm not an expert though, that's the thing. I don't really want to make a lot of tutorial videos when I'm just like, this is my first experience with this and this is what I'm doing after the research I looked up. And so some of it might be a little bit more vloggy than tutorial, but it's still going to be an explanation of what I'm doing, what the problem is, what I'm addressing, or what the recipe is that I want to try and how I'm going to go about working it into reality. So because a lot of people have expressed that they want that, especially my mom. She's like, I want to hear your voice. So some of my videos have to be spoken, for at least for my mom's sake. So I do want your feedback, so leave a comment if you are interested in shaping the way this channel goes in the future, and let me know if you would prefer to see more tutorials with me talking, or if you prefer to see silent vlogs where I don't necessarily explain in detail how to do something, but just show what I am doing, and then you can learn either through that, or maybe you're not even looking to learn, you're just looking for ambiance and something to watch. So let me know. Feedback is always welcome. I got a lot of feedback from people in my life on these videos, and it was very helpful. What are my personal goals for 2023? So if you watch my channel through this following year, the things that you can look forward to seeing, I want to run a 5K. I've always really liked the idea of running. I've wanted to be a runner since middle school, but I've always been overweight and I've always had hip problems, and I've always made excuses, so I've never gotten around to it. But this year I really want to run a 5K. My school hosts one in May, and that's my goal. Me and my little sister are trying to train for a 5K, and then we're gonna run it in May. So you can look forward to that and seeing my progress as I learn to run. And you can give me advice on that too if you're a runner, or if you're not a runner, you can give me advice on that too, because it's the internet and people do that. Another goal for this year is just to make more videos. I have always kind of wanted to do YouTube, but there's always been a barrier of I don't like the way I look, and feeling I'm intruding upon the space of the people in the household with me, and not feeling like I had a lot to share. But I talked to my counselor about it, and he said that even if other people are sharing the same thing, that maybe my voice is more soothing, or they identify more with me than another person, and would prefer to listen to me. So I was like, okay, I will put it out there. Best case scenario, somebody finds it, just one person finds it and likes it. Worst case scenario, nobody likes it, and it's just there for my family or myself or my future. I don't think I'm having kids, but my future, I don't have any nieces and nephews either. For the future, to see. So I want to make more videos. I would also like this year coming up, I'm expanding my garden. It started off in a 8x8 space, and then it became 4x4 raised beds, and then I added an in-ground plot last year that was 4x8, I think, and then I am adding 2 more 4x8 beds, or 2 or 3, I'm not sure. And I was going to do a no-till method, which is how I did it in the past, but I'm trying to save money, so I'm doing a tilling method. So You will have a lot of fun seeing me solarize the grass and get the bed ready and amend it, and I'm excited because it's going to be learning, and I love learning, and I'm going to fail like I did starting my garden 4 or 5 years ago. And failure is a whole part of the process that I look forward to because it teaches me next year what to do differently, and it shows me what can go wrong so that when I'm telling someone else how to do it, I can tell them this is what will go wrong, or if it goes wrong for them, I can say, yep, it goes wrong. I did the same thing, and this is how we'll fix it. So look forward to updates on the garden. I'm expanding that. I'm also going to change my composting system. Right now I have a tumbler, which I love, but it doesn't produce enough compost. It's not a big enough space for my compost needs. I usually fill it and then overfill it and then wait, and it just, I need more space for my compost, and that's all there is to it. So this year I'm expanding my compost bins to a different system, which I'll use both. So I'm excited for that. I have a weight loss goal this year. So I had weight loss surgery in July of 2021, and I've lost 130 pounds since then. And my goal is to be under 200 pounds by the end of the year. I'm currently 250 pounds, and I fluctuate between 250 and 255. Right now, because of the depression, I cannot stop eating, which I'm working on finding alternative measures to deal with the stress, because it's not good to eat. I get sick, and I'm not trying to gain weight, and I'm not trying to stretch my stomach. So, but my goal next year is to be under 200 pounds by the end of the year. So running the 5K will help. Going to the physical trainer at school will help. My husband and I are going to be on well, I'm putting him on a diet. I'm already watching what I eat. So, so I'm trying to make progress on him this year because he needs help too. I want to celebrate each season and holiday much in the same way that I did Vlogmas this year, where I deliberately engaged in seasonal things. So in the fall, I would like to go to a pumpkin patch and a hayride, and then in spring, maybe I'll go somewhere and look at flowering trees. And summer, I'd like to go to the beach. We've got a dam up here that has a little beach around it. So last year and the year before, I didn't get to go swimming at all. So I would love to get to go swimming this year. I love swimming. I also want to celebrate holidays more enthusiastically, because like I said, I love holidays, and I had given up on them because I couldn't get my husband as excited for them as I was. So this year I'm going to celebrate them as enthusiastically as I did Christmas. I'm going to do a cookout for the 4th of July. I'll do a meal for Easter. I'll buy myself chocolates for Valentine's Day, maybe. We'll see. Just try to enthusiastically enjoy the holidays and the traditions that I love so much, and see if people join me. Because New Year's Eve was pretty good this year, and I just said, this is what I'm doing. And my husband and my roommate stepped up and joined, and it was a blast. So I'm looking forward to holidays this year. Another thing I want to do this year, I would like to go to farmer's market and get seasonal produce that I am not growing myself, which would be mostly fruits, probably like peaches, berries, maybe even vegetables that I'm not growing, like broccoli and asparagus and things like that. I wanted to try rhubarb. I've never had rhubarb, and I want to try it. There's a farm down the street from me that I bought apples from 2 years ago in 2021, and made apple butter and applesauce and apple pie filling and canned it. And that was so much fun and so rewarding and just so nice to have on the shelf. And I tried to do it again last year, and they weren't open. They had a honor system thing where you could go buy hay bales and scarecrows maybe or something, but they didn't have any produce, and I was like shocked. I'm not actually sure why, still to this day, why they didn't have apples or anything like they did the season before, but hopefully next year or this year they do. Otherwise I'll just have to find another farm. But there's a local farmer's market in my area that it seems pretty extensive, and they accept my food income, so that's good. Another priority this year is going to be taking care of my cat's health. I have 6 cats. I did not want 6 cats. I wanted 1, maybe 2 cats. And I ended up with 6. I actually ended up with 15. And we found homes and we got them fixed, and we found homes and whittled it down to 6, and then just couldn't find homes for the rest of them, and then ended up, like, they've been with us so long now that we could never rehome them. They haven't known anyone else. So anyways, they are, so the first set of the first litter is 3 girls, and they are 12 years old. They'll be 13 April 1st. And they are all having teeth problems. One of them is drastically lost weight because of it. We're monitoring her. We're making sure that she's as comfortable as we can make her without spending any money. But it kills me every time I see them struggling. We can't even afford to buy them wet cat food, or else I would be putting them on wet cat food for their teeth so they don't have to worry about chewing. And then we have 3 boys that came from a separate litter, and they are 10. They're turning 11 May 25th. And they are doing a lot better. They don't have teeth problems. One of them is a little overweight. But other than that, they seem pretty good. But I want to get them vaccinated, and I want to get them I want to do a checkup on all of them. If you are interested in submitting some money to help with the funding of their vet bills, I will set up a Patreon, but I don't really see the point until I get some interest. So leave a comment if you're willing to contribute, and maybe I'll get that set up, or GoFundMe or something. But otherwise, it's just going to be like, hopefully I'll find work, and then that'll be a huge priority. Our dog too, I want to get him in for his annual checkup and make sure that his health is good and that he has everything he needs, his shots and everything. My mom got him vaccinated through his puppy years, so like he's not unvaccinated or anything. And my girls are all fixed, and my boys are all fixed and had their initial shots. So I would like to give them their rabies boosters and everything. So they're pretty much indoor cats. They do have access to outside. They don't leave the yard. I think they're just too old. They don't want to. Like, I literally watch them go out and watch them stay in the yard and then watch them come back in. They don't go out of the yard. In fact, most of them won't even go outside unless I'm out there with them. The girls in particular do not go outside unless I'm out there with them. The boys will go outside by themselves, but they stay in the yard. Our one cat likes to potty out there, which, thank you. And they like to lay in the garden and stuff, so they pretty much stick to our yard, which is nice. But I've tried to keep them inside exclusively. They lose their fur and get really stressed out, and I just can't do that to them. Originally they were strays. The boys were strays from a stray litter, and we took them in, and I think we missed the opportunity because we didn't want them in the house, and we missed the opportunity to train them to be inside. And I know that a lot of people will say that cats can adapt, but I just don't want to see them suffer like that, especially if they don't leave the yard. If they left the yard and roamed, that'd be one thing. But anyways, that's one of the things I want to focus on, is getting the cats to the vet and taken care of. The last thing that I want to focus on this year is getting my husband help. He lost his job in 2017. He was the sole breadwinner from 2011 to 2017 while I was dealing with medical issues. He lost his job in 2017. He tried to go back to work immediately. They worked him so hard, and they started taking away his breaks, and they tried to make him work 7 days a week, 12-hour days, and it broke him. Losing his first job broke him a little bit, a lot. Like, he felt betrayed because he worked so hard and he worked for so long, and they just dropped him because of office politics. He got a new boss who didn't like the fact that my husband does not talk. If he isn't spoken to, he keeps his head down and he works. He's not social. He's got antisocial anxiety disorder. Self-diagnosis. I will be taking him to a psychiatrist this year to get him fully diagnosed with that. Possibly he might be on the autistic spectrum. People have said that about him all of his life, and so I just want to get him checked and make sure whether or not that's true. And ADD, I'm almost positive he has ADD, but we'll see. So I would like to get him officially diagnosed with those things so that we can treat them going forward if need be, or make adjustments. And I would like to get him to lose weight, and because he's not obese. Well, I don't know what the BMI for obesity is in male tall men. I only know my own. But he has put on some weight since he lost his job, and I think that he would feel better if he lost some of that weight. I think his joints and his back would feel better, and I think his mental health would improve if he exercised and ate a little better. And I'm also going to work on implementing fermented foods into our diet to help with his gut health, because I think that he has a little bit of trouble with his gut biome, just based on like things that he used to be able to eat that he can't anymore, which is normal when you hit your 30s, and things that, you know, really hurt his stomach. I just think, short of getting him an elimination diet to see what the problem is, I think just working on implementing fermented foods will help. And another thing is I would like to get him to the doctor just to check it, just as yearly annual physical, check his blood levels, check his cholesterol, check his heart, you know, just last year I worked on me and getting me healthy. This year I'd like to work on him and getting him healthy and continuing my healthy journey. It's just now I feel like my cup is fuller, and so I can pour into his cup. So if you sat through all this, thank you. I know that was a lot of talking. My mouth hurts from talking so much, but this coming year is going to be interesting. I'm hoping to get a lot of things done, and a lot of it's going to take hard work since I don't have the money to back it up, but I really hope that you'll come along with me for this year and see where I go and root for me and comment and correct me when I'm wrong and encourage me and whatever else you want to do. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.